My name is Roger Pegrum. I'm an architect and a town planner. I was 10 years old when I first came, and Canberra looked a bit different then than it does now. Very empty, but everything that a 10-year-old boy could possibly want. We had a swimming pool, we had a good school. Later on, as an architect, I stayed because there were things to do here which I could do, and I was lucky enough to be here when they were needed. I left after a while to go to Sydney and teach. I enjoyed that and it was very productive. Then I came back again because I'd asked to be the government architect, and I thought, well, that's too good an invitation to pass up. And after that was over, it was a 3-year appointment, I decided not to go back to university, and I've stayed here happily since and had another business, ran my practice again, etc. When you are young, you aren't fearful. I was one of a few graduates in architecture in a large drawing office. Canberra was going to grow. The NCDC, National Capital Development Commission, was established to see that happen, and they used the Department of Works. They needed a school in Hughes. They asked the department instructed me, and I got a school to design when I was 22. And then one day I was working happily away in the department drawing office when the principal architect came out and said that the boss wants to see you. And the NCDC had said, can you send that fellow Pegrum over to help us? We need some help with Anzac Parade. It was just part of life. Canberra was changing massively, and I was contributing to it, and nobody thought that was very odd, nor did I. Competitions, I suppose, are the ultimate test of an architect. You throw your hat in the ring and put up a design. The design that frightened me most, I suppose, was the invitation to join with 3 other architects in a competition to design a chancery at Government House at Aranda. The competition was among 4 architects and the chancery was to be the office building for the Governor-General. But it's a bit frightening to put yourself up against 3 unnamed large firms in a competition. My key memory of that is that just before Christmas that year I received a letter from the Government House saying we would be pleased if you would be able to engage with us in the commission of etc, etc, etc. That's a very nice feeling to do a building which is going to be looked after, and it is superbly looked after, and I suppose in a way is my most important building. I certainly think that the Griffin plan must not be put aside. It's not a building plan, it's not a traffic plan, it's a landscape plan. We must make sure that there are spaces that aren't filled with buildings or filled with cars. We have to keep the city consisting of places as well as spaces. Well, it continues, continuing the thoughts of landscape and buildings harmoniously coexisting. Planning must recognise that there are rewards other than financial rewards in laying out a city properly. To be a very great city, that quotation comes from Adams, the 3rd President of the United States, who said that, well, Washington, this will be a very great city one day if nothing happens to it. So I guess what I was really saying in the book is things could happen to it, but they better not be bad things, because this deserves to be a very great city. I mean, I think many of the challenges of Canberra as a place to live could be solved instead of having a 2-storey height limit for houses in Canberra. If it was 3, when you think about it, it actually automatically gives you 50% more population possibilities. But there must be smarter ways of building between land-hungry individual houses and tall, anonymous blocks apartments. There must be something in between which is more suited to the good things in life. And when people come into architecture or planning or building, they should be putting their minds, in my view, to that sort of activity, that sort of, how are we going to handle this?